Hi, everybody. Welcome to the call. I am so excited you're here today because we have such an amazing trainer. She is my friend, Executive National Vice President Shea Hirchag. And what a lot of you guys don't know, besides the fact that she's like an amazing brain, and behind that brain, she became an occupational therapist and went to the top of her field, and all that is super, super amazing. I met her when she was an area manager. Like, I got to watch her become an executive national vice president. I saw her promote her regions. I saw her promote her nations. And I just have to tell you, this girl she is not just the cutest thing ever, but you guys will love what she has for you as far as growing the mindset that you're going to need to become an executive national vice president too. So if that's one of the goals that you've set for yourself, get out your pen and paper and let me introduce to you my friend Shea Hirchag. Hey girl, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Oh my gosh, Angelina, thank you so much. You're like such a sweet introduction and so generous of you. You guys, I mean, I totally remember those days, Aaron's beach house, and Angelina and I think maybe either you were brand new or you were in area too. We were areas at the same time, I think, for like a little bit there. I started my business a little bit before you, but I remember watching Angelina come into this business and just, she's always been an inspiration to me as well. You guys have the most incredible leader. I mean, you guys all know that. She's so classy. She's so bright. She's so driven. And I think that's one of the things that I love about Angelina as well. And it's been such an honor to build our businesses alongside each other. So you guys, a little bit about myself. I am an occupational therapist, right? I'm a retired occupational therapist. I loved what I did. I went to school to become an occupational therapist because I truly wanted to serve others. I wanted to help others. So I always tell people, if you like to help other people, Arbonne is the place for you. Like, it doesn't matter what degree you have. It doesn't matter, your age. It doesn't matter how you look, anything like that. What matters is you have a heart to serve others, and you will be successful at this business. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about today. But just really quickly, getting back to my story. So, was an occupational therapist, worked in the schools with kids with special needs, loved what I did until I didn't anymore, till I had a 2.5-year-old at home. And, my husband and I were living in Orange County, literally both working our butts off just to make ends meet. And literally one day we were sitting on the couch and we're just like, is this it? Like, is this just how life's going to be? Because we were so tired. We were so burnt out. We had barely any savings. We were racking up debt. We had a brand new house. And actually, it's perfect timing with what's going on right now in the world and the economy, because I was remembering this morning as I was getting ready, we actually had just taken, so it was right after the crash and, that I started my business, and we had that double dip recession happen. And I was in that stable, solid government job, right, where I thought I was safe during the recession when real estate, mortgage, all those people got hit. I thought I was safe until we had a double dip recession. And my paycheck as an occupational therapist was cut by 10%. So you guys, that was huge for us at the time. That was about $800 a month, because I was making about, I just tell people, because you can go online and see what an occupational therapist makes, right? I was making about $88,000 a year. So that was about $800 a month. And for us, that was huge. We didn't know how we were going to survive with that. And you guys, in walks Arbonne, where literally I joke, but it's not that funny, but I literally was able to replace that 10% pay cut quicker than they actually took it out of my paycheck, because you know how the schools take forever to get anything done. So literally they announced it. I started my Arbonne business and I was making that $800 a month, if not more, by the time they actually pulled it out, which was a few months later. So you guys, with right now what's going on in the world and in the economy, this is the time when people need this business. And I could talk about that for about a half an hour, right? But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is Angelina asked me to share my training from our area manager retreat, just about really stepping up into leadership right now. And how are we thinking about leading, right? It's not about, it's about having a growth mindset. Okay. So I want you to think about your mindset with your business and how you are leading yourself and leading your team. And why I love talking about leadership is because I feel like sometimes I hear people on my team say like, oh, like, I'm not as good of a, I'll never be as good of a leader as you. Or, like sometimes you hear that kind of like yucky negative self-talk. You guys, that is not true. The truth about leadership is that we can all become the most amazing leaders, because leadership is just like a muscle, right? It's just like going to the gym. So it's something that you are in control of, and you can literally flex and grow, and you can work on it every single day. So first thing is that your level of success will never outgrow your level of personal development. And so you get to decide every single day how you are going to show up with your personal development. Okay, so first thing is personal development, but it's not that just by itself, right? If we could get to the top of this company just doing personal development, that would be amazing. But it's personal development combined with a growth focus, having and being others focused, and combined with action and consistency. So that equals success. It's consistency no matter what. It's not consistency when I feel like it. It's not consistency when tragedy is not happening. It's not consistency when my kids are not sick, right? It's consistency no matter what, okay? So right now is the perfect time to really armor up and really lean into that consistency, because the people who are running right now, the people who are being consistent, because everything that's happening right now in the world, and I know this is going to be on a recording, so it might not be applicable. You guys might be like, what's she even talking about 6 months from now? Because this too shall pass. But it is a reminder to prepare for impact. So the consistency that we do now, the personal development and the growth that we do now is going to be our business a year from now when we are at GTC in Las Vegas. So what do I mean by having a growth focus, right? We want to have a growth focus versus a goal focus. So I'm not saying don't have goals, right? Goals are very important. I always had goals in my business. I've always been very goal oriented. But what's even more important than that is focusing on the growth. And why is that? That's because when you focus on the growth, you will always hit your goal, right? But when you focus on the goal and you don't focus on the growth, sometimes you don't hit your goal and you don't grow, right? And if you focus on the growth, what will happen is not only will you hit your goal, but you will also turn into the person and the leader that you were created to be. So it's not too late, and it's not too, I want you guys to realize, even if you're a team of one, you lead yourself in having a growth-oriented mindset, right? So you create growth-oriented focus in your organizations. And if you don't have an organization yet, that's okay. You can do it just by yourself, by embracing challenges, by persisting despite setbacks, by seeing effort as a path to mastery, by finding lessons and inspiration in the success of others versus feeling defeated, threatened, and comparing ourselves, right? When we are having a growth-oriented mindset, we look at others and we get inspired, because we know that the more we do, the more we grow, we can and we will become just like those other people, right? If that's what we're shooting for. We learn through constructive criticism, so being open to being coachable, being teachable, hearing what it is that you need to change and making those adjustments, being excited about that, because that's where the growth happens, right? And ultimately reaching higher levels of achievement, because that's what will happen when we have a growth mindset and a growth orientation. So how do we do this? And the one thing I want you to take away from this, you guys, is that it starts now. It starts today, and you can't wait for your upline to do this for you. This is something that you have to do now. I mean, I remember being an area manager, and Christy Von Wahlberg and I partnered up, and we started doing wellness workshops, at each other's house every couple weeks. We started or actually every week we would I think we do every 2 weeks. So we'd have 2 a month, but we didn't wait for our uplines to do that. We didn't wait for something to plug into our uplines. We did that. We created that and we just made it happen, you guys. And from that, we both became not just that, but it's about not waiting on someone else. It's about leading yourself and making this happen right away. You don't have to wait for someone else. So the first thing that you can do to have this to create this growth oriented focus within your organizations is to, number one, maintain, and not only maintain for yourself, but duplicate having a teachable spirit. Okay. So you have to make growth your number one priority. You need to grow every single day. You have to be immersed in personal development, and you have to, and how do we do that besides just, this is more than just reading a book, right? This is about how we think about every single thing that happens to us in our businesses every single day. So when we're making growth a priority, we're looking for opportunities in every situation, right? We are asking questions that will help us grow. We're not just saying oh my gosh, why did that happen to me? Oh my gosh, this party, rescheduled, because I never say canceled. Oh my gosh, right? We're saying, why did that happen? How can I do better next time? Let me be teachable. Let me be coachable. Let me reach out to my upline and actually ask her how I could do this better next time to prevent this from happening. Because you guys, there's always a tip and a trick that your upline has up their sleeve that you could always just, it's like that, what do they call it? The slight edge, right? It's like that thing where you could just always have looked back on how you did something, and could you have just tweaked it? Could you have just done a little more? Could you have just said it a little bit differently? Could you have just put that 1% more effort into it, and you would have gotten different results? And don't shame yourself. Look for every opportunity. Every step back is an opportunity for you to learn and find the growth, and ask yourself those questions, and then turn around. You guys, leaders turn around and pass those lessons on to others. We share what we learn with our teams and we help them grow. Okay. So when you are being coachable and you are learning these skills, it's not about what you did wrong. It's about, I want to get this right so I can turn around and I can teach my team and I can duplicate this down within my organization. But if we have walls up, right? If we have walls up and we're not open to listening to how we can shift and how we can do things different, we miss that opportunity for growth. Okay. So it all stems from being teachable, having that teachable spirit, and being self-aware. Number two, your love of learning must be greater than your fear of failure. Okay, so we have to teach this down into our organizations. We have to make failure our friend by embracing the lessons, right? One thing, and I know you guys have all heard this, but we talk about this in my house with my children all the time, right? We either win or we learn, you guys. So it's just so silly, right? We think about a baby, learning to walk, right? Is a baby they fall down and they're like, oh, forget this. I am not doing this again. No, they get back up again and they learn how to walk. And, we know that eventually all of our babies are going to walk, right? Unless there's something physically preventing them from walking. And so you guys, we have to take that same approach with our businesses, right? We have to make failure our friend. Failure is just a part of the process. And if we are not failing, we are not learning, we are not growing. So even failure isn't failure if you learn something from it, right? So make it your mission to fail early, fail often, and fail forward. And don't allow, you guys, fear to become a bully in your life. How many of you guys, and you don't have to raise your hand, you don't have to say it, but how many of you guys are letting fear bully you into living your good life instead of your great life? Really think about that. And you guys, I never used to talk about fear because I was kind of that person where I was don't feed, what you feed grows. I don't even like that word. We're not even going to say that word. That is a 4-letter word. That is a swear word. I don't say that word in my organization, but I've kind of shifted lately because I truly feel that fear is holding so many people captive, and I hate it because it doesn't need to hold anyone captive. You guys, you are here if you're here on this call, you're showing up for your business, right? You are here and you already know what you need to do. I can guarantee you, Jill Bush says this all the time, right? You guys, your Mama Bear upline, that you know the one thing that you need to do to move your business forward. You know it. You're just not doing it, right? So, and if you're doing it, awesome. Some of you guys are doing it, and that's amazing. We want to celebrate you and celebrate that. But I can tell you that the people who have done it, they were fearful too. They just did it anyways, right? I mean, that's the thing. Because how were they able to do it anyways? How come some people let fear stop them and other people push right through it? It's not because they're like these amazing people and you're not. It's because they are embracing embracing the lessons, right? They are more fearful of not growing and not getting the lesson than they are of failing, right? They are embracing failing. They are going for it. They're like, I might fail, that's okay. Because I know that to grow my business, to grow myself, to have that growth-oriented mindset, I have to fail early, fail often, and fail forward. So this is really, you guys, how we embrace this, because there's a remedy, there's a solution, right? There is a resolution to fear, right? Because the resolution is that you get to decide. You get to decide if you will adopt a growth focus and take action, because you are worth it and your team is worth it, right? So those people those NVPs, those RVPs, those people who have achieved their goals, they were fearful too, but they did it anyways because they knew that they would either win or they would learn. Does that make sense, you guys? So it's all really about taking action, because action, literally action, physically reduces fear and increases courage. So what is the one thing that you are putting off because you are afraid? You get to decide today that you are going to have a growth mindset about this and decide that you're going to take action because you're worth it. Your teams are worth it. The people who haven't even joined you yet in this business are worth it. And you are literally going to go out there and make a difference in so many lives by failing. Guys, there's no success without failure. It just doesn't exist. So it's how we're thinking about it, right? So the fourth thing you can do to create a growth mindset within your organization or within yourself, if you're an organization of one, is to develop and nurture relationships with other growing people, right? Look at Angelina and I. She was just saying, we both started this business when we were area managers, and we have stayed connected. We have inspired each other. We have supported each other in ups and downs in our businesses because we knew that we were both growing and we were going, right? And so you want to stay in a positive growth environment and nip any negativity within your organization in the bud, you guys. It is okay to literally get off the phone with someone who is being negative, right? Who's negative talking. You can say to someone in your organization, hey, are you just venting right now? Or are you looking for me for a solution? Okay, it's okay to say that, right? And if they're just venting, you can just say, you know what? I gotta go. I gotta run right now. You know, and eventually that kind of just like walking away and stopping that negative talk and not participating in it will start duplicating down within your organization. People will know that when they call you and they start venting and they start complaining and they start talking about something negative, every time you're like, oh, hey, there's someone at my door. Oh, hey, my baby's crying. Oh, hey, I gotta go make dinner. Guess what? That's a reinforcement, right? We are gonna negatively reinforce that behavior so that people get your time who are speaking positively, who are having solution-based conversations, who are having growth-oriented conversations. Other people don't get your time because we are in control of this, and we really have to maintain this positive growth environment in our lives and within our teams. It's so important. We want it. Number 5 is to embrace humility. Be humble, you guys. don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong, right? Because that's an opportunity to grow. And self-awareness is the desire to change and grow. We have to be self-aware in this business. This is a personal development business disguised as a skincare and wellness company, right? We have to be self-aware to grow. Number 6 is believe in yourself. Your belief, listen to this, I want you guys to write this down because it's so powerful. So your belief in yourself determines your personal investment in others. Okay? So your belief in yourself determines your personal investment in others. So we have to shift our focus from what we gain from people. So are you out there thinking about your team like, oh, if this person does 2,500, if I get 16 people to do 2,500, I'm going to be a regional vice president. Yes, that's true, right? But it's how are we thinking about people? Are we thinking about what we can gain from people, or are we thinking about how we can help people? Because it's a very different mindset. If I'm thinking, hey, if I can just get 16 people to do 2,500 a month, I'm going to be a regional vice president, right? To if I can just teach 16 people how to make an extra, how to start building like a stable, solid business that's going to pay them when impact hits, that's going to enable them to stay home with their kids, that's going to, create an asset income for them. If I can do that and I can help 16 people, we become a region, but I know we're going to blow past that because when I help 16 people to create a stable, solid business, and they start duplicating that down and helping others, we create a tidal wave of success. So do you guys feel the difference between that? And whose team are you going to join? Are you going to join the person's team who's just looking to get you to make $2,500 QB a month so they can go region? Or are you going to join the person's team who's invested in helping you build a business and create a legacy for your family? I bet you're going to build person number 2. You're going to join person number 2's team, right? So if you don't make this shift from what you can gain from people to how you can help people, your leadership will always be limited. You might be able to build an area, build a region, but I promise you, you will not make it to the top of this company with that type of mindset. So really wrap your mind around that. And the best part of it is you can all do this, right? You can all come from an others focused mindset. You can all make that shift. So we choose to lead because of what we can do for others. And that choice will always be worth it. Sometimes we don't want to make that choice for ourselves, right? It's not always worth it when it's like just about yourself, like, oh, I have to miss this, event, or I have to miss my favorite Netflix show, right? When it's about yourself. But when it's about others, that choice will always be worth it. So when we do this, we shift from a perks mindset to a price mindset. And we realize and recognize that anything worth having, you guys, is going to come at a price. That's just how it is, you guys. I became an occupational therapist, right? I knew I was going to have to pay a price. I went to college for 4 years. I did my internships. I lived at my parents' house in the extra bedroom at 20 something years old because I was doing my internships not getting paid, right? 40, 50, 60 hours a week, not getting paid so that I could become an occupational therapist. Why do we think this business is any different? It is not, right? We're going to get paid at the top level way more than you will get paid, way more than I got paid as an occupational therapist. So you have to understand that with anything valuable, with anything worthwhile, there's going to be a price to pay. So the sooner you kind of wrap your mind around that and get okay with that, the quicker you'll start moving, right? So we get to decide because we know the truth. We have to pave the way for others. And to do that, you have to go first, right? You have to go first. You can't wait for others. Leaders who have a growth mindset go first, and we do more. So I want you to write down before and more, because we're willing to pay the price because we know the price has to be paid because we know what we're working for is worth it. It's worth it, you guys. It's worth it for you to go before and do more than others. So what does that mean? That means acting before others, doing more than others, facing uncertainty, facing fear, facing doubt, and moving through it to clear a path for other people. Okay, that's what that means. We have to be responsible, you guys. The signature of excellence is relentless consistency. We have to earn that leadership title, earn the influence of your team. Don't just expect it. Like, why are people not following me? How about, why are people not following me? Earn it, you guys. Take full responsibility for it. And you will start building a team who respects you, who wants to follow you, because you're going before and you're doing more. Again, everything worth having comes at a price, right? I mean, I'm not going to go there, but I was going to say, why is Louis Vuitton $1,500 and something else is $20 at Target, right? We have to go before and do more if we want the thing that we want. So when you make that shift in your leadership, right, and you start earning people's leadership by helping and serving them, and you start influencing your team, you are going to shift from perks to price. Okay, so let's take a look just at some. I love doing comparisons. Let's look at what is someone thinking if they're like in that perks place versus in the price place. Okay, so shift from perks, what am I going to get, to paying the price. Okay, so someone in a perks mindset is thinking like, what will I receive? What am I going to get for this, right? Person who's paying in a price mindset is thinking, what can I give? A person who's stuck in a perks mindset is thinking, how will this decision affect me, right? I mean, think about how this relates to your guys' business, right? Like sometimes you're thinking like, oh gosh, like, do I have to go to the meeting, right? Like, how is this going to affect me? Oh, my husband's going to be upset, or, oh, like, I'm not going to be able to go out to dinner with my girlfriends tonight. I'm not going to be able to watch that show I wanted to watch, right? I might be tired tomorrow or whatever, versus how will this decision affect others? So if I don't show up to the meeting, how is that affecting others? Because whether you have a team of one, if you're by yourself, the meeting needs you. So how is that affecting your Arbonne community? How is it affecting your upline? How would your upline feel if every single person decided they're going to stay home and watch Netflix tonight and no one's at the meeting, right? So instead of thinking, and this is like applicable to everything in our business, you guys, like everything. It's not just going to the meeting. It's doing your daily method, doing your 5 and 15, showing up to someone's business launch, even if there's one person coming, like showing up with your best self. So how will this decision affect me versus how will this decision affect others? A perks mindset thinks, how long will this take me? Right? Do you guys ever think that? Like, oh my gosh, she went nation in 3 years and I'm still a district manager at 3 years, right? Okay. Perks mindset, how long will this take me? Price mindset, how far can we go? So think about that. Perks mindset, what will you give me to stay in the game? Versus paying the price mindset, what must I give to stay in the game? Okay, so you guys, I just want you to think about that and be empowered by that we can shift our minds from a linear mindset to a growth-oriented mindset focused on what we can do, serving others, paying the price. And I just want to end by saying there is no victory at bargain basement prices. That's just the truth. That's the fact of the matter. So make a decision to do it for others, do it before others, and do more than others. Because you guys, tomorrow is never promised, and it's all about how we are going to show up today. So with that, I'll pass it back to Angelina, and that's what I have for you guys today.